Okay, welcome to our journey to independence number 3. The first couple of videos we were going through chain of title, and now we're going to be discussing the flag issue that everybody is extremely passionate about. So what we're going to do is share screens here. Present to everyone. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay. So what we have here is, okay, let me think. Everybody keeps looking or seeing our flag running around, and they're wondering what we're doing and why we're doing it. Okay, so if you look at the chain of events, a lot of people believe that this flag timeline, if they look at this here, it'll say Betsy Ross reports that she sewed the first American flag, which is the 13 stars and stripes and all that right here, and it says 1776. Well, that wasn't the actual first flag. The one that the Continental Congress adopted, it said here, was this flag. It said that was the 13-star flag, but it's a little different than people believe it is, because look at the dates, 1787. So this flag wasn't created. This one here was not created until 1787. I'm going to show you the actual congressional record. Okay. It's June 14th, says Continental Congress adopts the following: resolve that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternate red and white, that the Union be 13 stars. Now take a look at the lowercase u. That's a different Union. That's not the upper and lowercase Union. That's the small Union. White in a blue field representing a new constellation. And they're saying the stars represent Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and all that. That was in 1787. 1781, that flag didn't exist. So let's go back to the flag timeline again, and you'll see 1776, and you'll say that Betsy Ross reports that she sewed the first American flag in 1776. How can that be? If the flag didn't actually exist or wasn't created or adopted or anything until 1787. Now what this actually means is that a brand new union, another union was started. They called it the New Union, and that was started under Manhattan Island. And that's when they created the American Society within the independent states. That's when it all began. And you notice that they created North Carolina, Rhode Island, and all that, and it didn't start as represent state of Delaware and then move on to where it says state of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, state of Georgia, and all that. They took that out. And so these states are considered American societies under Manhattan Island. It says, notice the states were no longer called the state of Delaware, state of Pennsylvania. The names of the states did not reflect the name of the state within their constitutions. So therefore produced an illegal state within a state, if still claiming to be the original state in a separate union ruled by private organization. Now we were talking yesterday, or in the last video, about the state of South Carolina seceding from the Union, the original Union. So what Congress did was in 1787 is they created a brand new union. So somebody knew that there was going to be a new another constitution created under the older union. And if you go back and look, we need to go back to the original timeline. These flags were there. They called it the Grand Union flag. There was this one. And then the Calpin Continental Congress adopts the following resolve that, and that was in 1787. So how could this flag be adopted in 1787 and then also claim that it was done in 1776? That this was always the flag. But notice how similar the flags are. Right here, 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 here. They're all the same flags. Just different designs, but they're all basically the same. It's interesting to see. And if you read or watch this particular video, watch this real quick. And then they said there's no more king, and they're going to elect a president to be their basically he's going to give up his his heir to the throne, and they're just going to make him president. And that is a particular type of republic. So when people say they want a republic back, it's not what they think it is. They believe it. All it is what that was set up was a republic, meaning the president gave up his throne as a king, and his heirs, successors, and assigns have all been relatives of George Washington. So we have that part, and then what they've done is the original flag. Let me go ahead and close this. The original flag was this here, "Don't tread on me." That was the original revolutionary flag. We have that, don't we, somewhere?
An article?
Yeah, isn't there an article about that? Because it was the original flag. It was created during the Revolutionary War.
Yes, and we also added it to the flag reference.
Correct. We added it to our flag reference as far as chain of title for the flags. This was the original flag right here during the Revolutionary War. And then we amended it. We changed the flag to this by saying obedient to tyrants is obedience to God. That was Jefferson's seal, I think. And then it became public property, so we went ahead and adopted it. So if you ever see this flag right here, or this flag without this seal, it actually came from this flag here, which started in the Revolutionary War. And the reason why we wanted to do that is because we didn't want to be considered a part of the company, of the British company and everything else, because eventually they'll dog you out for calling you a sovereign citizen domestic terrorist for using your flag. Of course, they always do that. But they want to keep they want you to keep your chain of title broken, and so you lose your claim. And the more you lose your chain of title, or when you lose your chain of title, then they have claim to your property, and that's how it works. So what was the link that you had, Stu?
I have a article from this is a repost from the Washington Examiner, and I'll share it if you'd like.
Yeah, let me go ahead and stop sharing. All right, go ahead.
It's a repost, as you can see here, when it pops into view, from the Washington Examiner, 2013. New York Town removes flag as offensive Tea Party symbol. Gadsden "Don't Tread on Me" flag in parentheses. And
right, because the Tea Party, the Tea Party had adopted that flag.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's been it's been, it's been used by the Marine Corps and the Navy since, the Revolution times.
Right. It was adopted. Yeah, it was adopted by the Army, the Department of the Army. Let me get that. Go ahead and you see how everybody's attacking the Gadsden flag. If you notice that the so-called establishment is attacking it constantly, and the reason is because they want everybody to believe that their flag is it.
Right. I also have the Sovereign Citizens FBI report where they use this. They use reference to the Gadsden flag here as a warning. Is that showing up?
Yeah, just go ahead and bring it down just a little bit. There you go. And just keep in mind, folks, that there are good people and bad people in the FBI. So I don't think the FBI actually put this out. I think somebody put this out in the name of the FBI, to be honest with you. I don't think they involved themselves in this kind of, the sovereign citizen domestic terrorist stuff as much as people believe they do. I think a lot of this is coming from Manhattan Island.
Ending.
Okay, so let me go ahead and share screens here again. And there we go. We had this in here. It was a Cowpens flag, striped India. Okay, it's actually that flag is connected to the East India Trading Company. It's the Stars and Stripes. That's why we're mentioning it. And we don't want to be a part of the East India Trading Company. And we'll get rid of the timeline. So since the Gadsden flag was designed in 1775 during the American Revolution, further, the rattlesnake symbol was officially adopted by the Continental Congress in 1778 when it approved the design of the official seal of the War Office. It says, then it would be proper to correct today's official record and correct the confusion in one document that was created in 2011. That's the reason why we were doing this. So if it was done in 1778 by the Continental Congress, how is it a domestic terrorist act to use that flag? Does anybody know? It boggles my mind.
Yeah, it can only be based on propaganda and misinformation, intentional or otherwise.
Right. So apparently the people that don't like the Gadsden flag and say it's offensive do not like the fact that there was a Revolutionary War against England and the Dutch East India Trading Company.
Makes sense.
Sounds kind of anti-American to me, doesn't it? To you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's it. And so you had the original Gadsden flag, which was in 1778, was the seal of the War of Office. And what we did was we took that flag and then we just we amended it to the flag that we're using today, which you've already seen on here. And that's it. That's all that's happened. And that's the timeline and chain of title with the flags. So we've covered the country's name, we've covered the General Post Office, chain of title, and now we've covered the flag. And we'll get on to more in the next couple of videos. Please join us again. This is a very short video. Didn't need to really put a whole lot together to show this because a picture is worth 1,000 words. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.